All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is your Mayor Hector Laura. As I mentioned to you before, I had to go off live to have conversations regarding this area in the back. Fortunately, and we have our firefighters from Karlstad, the amazing municipality of Karlstad in the back, and we had our Passaic County coordinators. So right now they're hitting the back of that side that I told you about with water to try to address this, because the water, it was necessary with the tanks, the diesel tanks. Many of you saw it explode live, which becomes a huge concern, of course, regarding safety. So now we're able to hit it specifically from behind. We had an engine with water and the ability to try to focus on this specific back area. You can see they're hitting it now, trying to cool it down, because, of course, there's a concern of it exploding. Many of you got to see specifically what occurred live as I was back here trying to get a better angle. Ladies and gentlemen, Ciudad de Passaic, le comparto que ahora mismo tuve que salir del vivo para poder llamar al jefe de policía, explicarle el peligro de aquí atrás, y estaba tratando de parar los carros y los bomberos de caminar aquí atrás. Habían algunos que no sabían lo que estaba ocurriendo. Pueden ver como ahora se le está dando con agua para poder controlar esta área atrás del edificio, donde hay tanques específicamente que pueden explotar un carro que estaba parqueado ahí mismo delante del incendio, y ahora obviamente el tanque atrás se explotó, y seguimos dándole al incendio de todos lados. Pueden ver específicamente el gran peligro que hay, porque a veces el fuego y el incendio comienza a moverse, y hay tanques, como pueden ver aquí atrás, tanques que están llenos de aceite o de gasolina, y eso puede causar hasta más problemas aquí. Con este incendio se parece que el negocio entero se va a perder en esta noche. Yes, for now it is about safety, specifically about safety here in our community. Esto tiene que ver con la seguridad de nuestra comunidad. As you can see, it continues to burn. And unfortunately, with a recycling company at here Atlantic Coast, it is so conducive. All the material is extremely conducive for a fire to spread the way that it's spreading, and it's being hit from every angle. But you can see, even after hitting it with water to try to cool down, that truck is completely and utterly consumed as it continues to burn. It is a very difficult task for our firefighters. We have firefighters from Halden, we have firefighters from Karlstad, we have firefighters from all over Bergen and Passaic County together, and just all over the area. Over 25 fire companies all together trying to fight this fire, and I can show you how we're hitting non-stop every single area to try to control the fire and try to get it under control. As you can see, the truck is fully consumed in the back, and again, the concern are tanks that many of you, if you go to the previous live, will see at the end of the live where there was an explosion while I was live, and that obviously continues to be concerned all over the building, as there are areas around specifically this property that, again, I remind you, are extremely conducive for the fire to continue and create dangerous situations. We also have had reports of pocket fires around the area, around the city. So, of course, that is of additional concern. The tanks, obviously, have me concerned simply because of the explosion that occurred just minutes ago back here, and I'm concerned of a much larger explosion. As you can see, our firefighters, how are you? God bless. As you can see, we have firefighters all over, positioned strategically. You can see our fire truck back here that was hitting it with water to try to control the fire, and I'll show you from this angle specifically how bad it has been getting. 7th Street, Amanda, we're on 7th Street right now in the city of Passaic at Atlantic Coast Recycling, and you can see how challenging that truck, which when I first started in the last live, didn't have a single flame on it is now completely engulfed by fire, as you can see, and one of the tanks actually blew up while I was on the live. So it is the actual address is 7th Street, Ashley, but yes, you are correct. Between 7th and 8th Street, that would be 8th Street behind me, as you can see. And then, of course, the actual property is on 7th Street here. 7th Street, which is Atlantic Coast Recycling. I'll show you this truck, and you can literally go from one live specifically right before this one, where this car was completely intact, to it now being completely engulfed with fire, and our firefighters are setting up to try the best they can to hit this specific area back here. Once again, one of the concerns are there are tanks. You can see how the smoke is starting to change, specifically a dark and black color, and that often happens, as you can see. And as I mentioned to you, that there would be a potential for an explosion. Guys, as I mentioned, you can see the fire continues, and it hit the tank, as I mentioned to you before. Guys, obviously this is a dangerous situation, and you can see for the potential of an explosion, and it's gonna go at any moment. As I mentioned to you, there would be a potential for an explosion. Yes, Ken, car that did explode. Fortunately, it was a concentrated explosion in one area. But as you can see, this is the reason why this becomes so extremely dangerous in this area. And I wanted to show you the potential of what this fire could create. Now our firefighters are going to begin to hit it with water, specifically in the area. Obviously, the goal of our firefighters is to maximize the resources, capitalize on opportunities, and now strategically focus on the fire. Yes, Ken. That's why I ask you to keep all our firefighters in your prayers. Por eso que yo le pido que mantengan nuestros bomberos en sus oraciones, porque el peligro del incendio no es solamente cuando están cerca, pero obviamente cuando hay un potencial para una explosión, como ustedes vieron. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is literally just about 15 feet behind the building right now as this fire continues to burn. Yes, Santi, I appreciate it. I am. Specifically, look, the firefighters are right behind me. So I'm at a specific distance where there is something there that can create a barrier for me. If necessary, I can go behind it, but I wanted to show you what was going on, and then show you obviously where our firefighters are positioned in the area. Again, so ladies and gentlemen, as I mentioned to you, the potential danger that our firefighters experience is not just in proximity, but potential explosions. You guys saw that explosion live as that tank blew, and it's impactful, but it definitely highlights that you understand what our firefighters go through every single day, putting their lives on the line with situations and conditions that you really cannot predict how bad it will get. Within minutes, you guys saw this vehicle, which didn't have any fire on it, fully engulfed and then explode. And these are conditions that are always present in fires, and why it's so very important that all of our fire departments are obviously always backed up and have the resources that they need to combat fire, not just material resources, but personnel, that we have enough firefighters in our departments that can respond to situations like this. I'm often asked as mayor, why do we continue to have more firefighters in our city? Because when you have fires like this and need 25 different fire companies to respond, you understand the desperate need that communities like ours, especially the 10th most densely populated city in the nation, how easily a fire can go from a couple of areas to an explosion to the fire spreading, and then a recycling company, you know that every material in there is conducive for this fire to continue to spread. You'll see the change of the color of smoke, which is indicative of different material that is burning, and you can see right here as the fire continues to grow stronger. There's a desperate attempt to try to control this and get this obviously in hand. I'm concerned with the larger tank, as I've shared with you guys, becomes extremely problematic as it is spreading and getting stronger. All right, City of Passaic, as I mentioned to you, this fire, which is continuously hitting different areas in the city, and now, as I mentioned to you, there is even greater potential for it to actually explode. You saw that explosion go live. As I mentioned to you, the need of support for our firefighters, just simply because of the way that the fire can change immediately, and the reason why resources are so important in our city, to ensure that we back up our firefighters, not just locally, but of course everywhere. I'm going to show you one of the quick pocket fires that I set. If you look right here, and this is what I was telling you, the fire begins to spread. Look at this area right in front of us that occurred because the fire spread. And this is happening around the property, all over on all sides, where the fire is spreading to a different area. You can see they're hitting it right now. All right, ladies and gentlemen, your mayor is about to get a little bath, so I'm going to step back from a safe distance. But again, this is how easily a pocket fire could happen and then spread to different areas. I wanted you to see how quickly this can result in the fire spreading. As you can see, we're hitting it from every single angle, as this truck is completely gone up in flames. Our firefighters have done a great job. And again, I ask you to keep all of our firefighters in your prayers. As you can see, the fire seems to have died down by the truck. Now we're hitting it from different angles to try to focus on the area where the larger tank is. I'll show you. Then we're heading in here by our 8th Street area. You can see we're trying to get it from both angles. All right, City of Passaic, as I mentioned, this fire continues. As you can see, they're hitting it from both angles. We're back in the front to try to get this area under control. As I mentioned, and you'll be able to see in the beginning of this live, if you go back to it, and the end of the other live, the actual explosion that occurred in this area and the concern. We're right across from 8th Street, the Atlantic Coast Recycling company here between 8th Street and 7th Street. As you can see, The fire continues to burn heavily and strong here in the city. Yes, Sammy, right now everyone is okay. We did have a firefighter that unfortunately was taken to the hospital. We continue to keep them in prayer, obviously, and keep all of the firefighters that are round the clock battling this fire. As you can see, I mean, it's been non-stop since after midnight here in the city of Passaic, as we continue to hit it from every single potential angle with water, trying desperately to get it under control. But this truck here, which again, you can see it live in the previous broadcast that I did from this area, that there wasn't even a little bit of fire near it, and now it's completely engulfed. It has exploded twice because of tanks on it, which create dangerous situations. And the problem is, we have situations like this all around the property, ladies and gentlemen, causing obviously a dangerous condition. Como le comparto el video que hice anterior de esto, tú puedes ver donde el camión no tenía ni un poco de fuego y después había una explosión de fuego y obviamente ahora tú puedes ver que ese camión está completamente cubierto y destruido. Esa es la situación que estamos teniendo aquí en la ciudad de Passaic. Como pueden ver, los números de camiones y compañías que están aquí de todo lado, de diferentes municipalidades, por toda la calle 8 y la calle 7, through 8th Street and 7th Street. As I mentioned, I'm gonna go back around to get back to our command center in the midst of this, as we continue to try to battle this fire. You can see the smoke as it is completely covering the entire area. Ladies and gentlemen, that's our Garfield, our neighboring municipality firefighters that have come here to assist. The Garfield volunteer firefighters, along with Helden. You can see our Helden firefighters that are also here with us. Firefighters from all over have come to respond. How are you, sir? Our firefighters are fighting non-stop to try to get this fire under control, and I'll show you from this angle, as I mentioned, the challenges that we continue to face with this property here. Thank God, as of right now, all employees are accounted for. All employees were able to be removed from the premises, and as of now, in the latest reports, everything seems to be focused only on the building and the structure. That's our chief of the fire department, who is presently on the other side of the gate. Our chief has been here non-stop, directing and ensuring that all companies are working together in collaboration. That's our East Rutherford ladder, which is positioned in this direction to try to hit it from this side of the street. Let's go around, guys. Yes, it is quite a difficult morning, and I'm going to show you. I just saw an ember that actually went to this building, guys. If you could see, as they fly from this building, sometimes lit on fire, and then they land on different property, and that's the concern, that another fire would set off. And that's the other challenge. Obviously, the number one priority is life, but as you can see, what occurs is the wind will carry material from this building all the way across. And I'll show you, maybe you could see it in the sky, but I just saw one fly right up to this side of the building, and that is so dangerous. As obviously the concern is that the fires will continue. As I was walking up, we saw a number of pocket fires in the area that, of course, we are terribly concerned with if the fire spreads beyond this property here. Hey, how's it going? All the way around. Sí, está en la calle 7 y la calle 8, en el medio de la calle 7 y la calle 8. Puede ver como el edificio aquí sigue quemando. Los camiones, los productos en los camiones, el aceite que está alrededor, la gasolina, todo tiene potencial para explotar. Hey, God bless. Chief, can you give us an update? How are things going? Obviously, we continue to have challenges in the area.
Our biggest challenge right now is containment. The fire has now spread to the adjacent building, which is another 200 by 200. So basically, we do have about a city block burning. We have exposure issues on the old Hercules Chemical Company. So we have Patterson units and some Passaic County units working that side. We've had multiple explosions and gas cylinders and tanks involved at this time. So we're doing the best we can. We went to an 8th alarm. We're bringing in a system called the Neptune system, which is 12-inch hose. It's going to draft water out of the river. But man, we're going to be here probably for the next several days trying to get this fire under control.
Wow, thank you, Chief. Thank you for all your efforts. All right, como pueden oír, lo que pasó es que este incendio ahora llegó al próximo edificio al lado y vamos a estar aquí por varios días combatiendo contra este incendio. The people around the area need to leave, Mayor. Not now, Marco. What I would say is necessary is to keep your windows closed. Yes, there is a chemical factory here, so obviously right now we're at an 8th alarm fire. That means all hands on deck. We have companies from all over. They're implementing a Neptune system, which is much, much stronger, more serious equipment to try to combat the fire. But as I mentioned, it's an entire block in the city right now, and it's non-stop. So we're in a very serious situation here, but as of right now, there is no need to evacuate the neighbors. Ahora mismo no hay razón para evacuar la comunidad. Yo le voy a dejar saber si hay necesidad. Obviamente, yo estoy aquí. Si el peligro era tan grave que no pudiéramos estar aquí, yo no estuviera aquí. Una de las razones que yo estoy aquí es para asegurarle a los residentes que ellos están bien y que ahora mismo no hay peligro al nivel donde tenemos que evacuar la área. Ladies and gentlemen, obviously I am here. So as you can see, there is not a reason to evacuate the general public, because if it was dangerous to that level, I would not be here. All right. Yes, Jenny, we have some concerns of fires in the areas. That becomes a challenge, of course, but we continue to combat, and our firefighters are doing an amazing job, including all of the firefighters of mutual aid. Okay. Obviamente se abre nuevas oportunidades de acceso para mejor combatir este incendio. Es el propósito de cortar. Se sabe ahora mismo, con toda la agua se comienza a sentir como si está lloviendo en la área, que es bueno que se llene el aire de agua para prevenir que el incendio toque los otros edificios. right, guys, they're going to continue cutting this as the battle continues with the fire. All right, City of Passaic, I'll update you in a little bit. God bless.